Aikwe Nektamalita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian, and today I will be talking about the Cursed Candy Mystery Series. So this is my review of the Cursed Candy Mystery Series. It's been a while since I finished the series. So typically I like to do reviews of the full series once I'm done with them. I definitely thought I would have a couple more reviews before this one and the last one that I did, but I have yet to actually finish anything. So I kind of finished the series on a whim, in all honesty. I was looking for something on Libro. I wasn't quite finding it, and Cutthroat Kitchen, which is I keep saying that, and I'm gonna keep saying that because Cutthroat Kitchen is a TV series on Discovery on the Food Network, and I actually really enjoy it. Cutthroat Cupcakes is the first book in the Cursed Candy Mystery series by Kate Lawley. Cutthroat Cupcakes was suggested in Libro's mini suggestions, and its premise seemed really interesting to me. And it might have helped that it was on sale for like $9. So that's how I stumbled upon this cozy candy mystery, or Cursed Candy Mystery series. And then the following two books, it's a trilogy, were also on sale. So once I found out that I really did enjoy Cutthroat Cupcakes, I immediately bought the second two as well. And if it says anything, I'm hoping to get a physical copies of all of them shortly. So Cursed Candy Mysteries by Kate Lawley. Our main character is Lena. She is a candy maker, and her candy shop is named Sticky Tricky Treats, which is a Halloween themed, year-round Halloween themed candy shop in Boise, Idaho, which I thought was funny because I recently I have a coworker who recently joined us, who's also from Boise. So I thought that was fun. But basically we start off in Cutthroat Cupcakes. Lena is being arrested by, here, let me just read you the synopsis. Killer Cupcakes. Seems improbable to Lena, but when an attractive detective snaps cuffs on her and accuses her of witchy crime, she's forced to reconsider. The murder weapon, a cupcake topper sold in Lena's shop, Sticky Tricky Treats. The method, a killing curse. The curse's origin, Lena, sort of. Except Lena didn't have a clue that she was a witch, and certainly didn't know she accidentally cursed some of her confections. She's got to catch the killer who used her magic to murder or possibly face a conviction as an accessory. Now, only if the wizard detective assigned to the case weren't such a distraction. So I thought this was fun just because, and I've tried reading like cozy mysteries before, but there's this element of like not working with the detectives on the case that is usually hit or miss for me, and it's more typically more of a miss than a hit, but for some reason this whole working with the detectives and not going to actual the real police, because this has to do with paranormal shit, I enjoyed. So Lena doesn't know she's a witch, so we get a really nice introduction into this witchy community to figure out how things are working and what the rules are and how the magic works through Lena, because she's all new to it too, so that's a good excuse. But it's also really nice too because Lena's in her mid to late 30s, so she's an adult, so there's a lot of like adult type topics, or it doesn't feel young adult at all. It's a very much adult book-ish. But there's also a lot of sass in this book of like Lena is comfortable with herself. I mean, she's obviously a little like topsy-turvy with this whole like, wait, witches exist thing, like I have magic. So there's obviously some elements to this where she's like, I don't trust my magic because someone's using it to murder people. But there's this element of comfortability with Lena herself, not including the magic, that she is happy to stand up for herself. She's also happy to kind of snap back at folks. So there's a sass to it because Sebastian, who is the wizard detective, has co-workers, Sabrina and Miles, and I love the banter between all of them, in all honesty. And of course, like Bastion, it's not said, but because he's a wizard, which is different than a witch, his magic is based off logic, there's this element that he thinks a little differently than everybody else. And then of course there's witches. Witches and warlocks are essentially the same. It's just warlock is an older term because gender, and essentially everyone's accepted as a witch. Miles, Sabrina, and Lena are all witches who use magic based off emotion rather than logic. So we get to learn that aspect, and it's really fun. And of course, like, because Lena is a candy maker, we get some element of confection description, which I really enjoyed. I think it could have been bumped up a little bit, in all honesty. And what's really great is that as their cover of sorts for this witchy detective agency, their office is at a coffee shop that Bastian owns. And it's just so nice too, their description of coffee. So coffee and confections are really fun. The descriptions in here, like I said, it could have been bumped up a little more. The coffee element is a lot more present than the candy. I think one thing though is that because it's like a cozy mystery series, there is this element of everyone's going to be fine. It doesn't ever really feel like there's much danger, because it would lose that cozy aspect of the mystery, I feel like. But there is elements where it's like you're not quite sure what's happening, in terms of like, because it's magic, because they're trying to stop this villain. Yeah, so it was great. I would say that the romance, which is hinted at in the synopsis, Lena and Bastian, really slow going. And I kind of like that, particularly for the first book of the Cutthroat Cupcakes. We get a little more of it in Twisted Treats, which is the second book, and basically it's kind of following the same premise as the first. It's just apparently there was more cursed candy that Lena accidentally imbued with. But this time she has elements of, we get more of a look into her family history, because ultimately witch magic is inherited. It has been known to skip some generations, but it's a rarity. So we get more of that element, and basically we learn too about the family mentor, who's really fun. I love her. It is Sophie's great aunt, or it is Lena's great aunt Sophie, who essentially Lena is named after, but she prefers to go by Lena. And we get more of the sass we get from all the characters. Yeah, it's still just really fun, and there's like elements of it. I would say that Twisted Treats is probably, like, I rated Cutthroat Cupcakes at like 4.5. I originally put it at a 5, but thinking about it, it's more of a 4.5. Twisted Treats, I would have to say, was more of a 3.5. It wasn't like there could have been something a bit more. We also get a lack of confection descriptions, in all honesty, which I found really disappointing, because I could have used more in the first one. The fact that we're lacking even more so in the second, it feels like a missed opportunity. We still get some description of coffee, which is great. We still get the sass from Sabrina and from Miles. I wish we could have learned a bit more about them. I don't know, I want to learn more about them, in all honesty. Like, I get that this is a cozy mystery series, but I wanted more. Yeah, like I said, same formula as the first one. And then in the third one, which is, I already forgot the name of it, Fatal Fudge. So this one kind of turned out to be a surprise, because it's still the same formula. Oops, Lena imbued more candy than she thought. It was just a different type of emotion. And this one, I thought it delves a little deeper in terms of discussion. There is a domestic violence in this one. Domestic violence situation. It's not described too much, but there is elements of like a controlling partner. This element of like, it could have had a longer timeline, in my opinion. But I did like this element a little more than this story, Fatal Fudge's story, a bit more than I did Twisted Treats. So I would definitely say this was a 4 in my book. I mean, it was still kind of disappointing though, because like, even though we're still getting like this little swooniness between Lena and Bastian, there were still elements that I really wanted more of. And I think this one's only like 180 pages, and I think it could have been more. I think we could have had more of a time lapse thing, because it felt like it was fairly rushed in terms of solving the mystery and putting plans into action. It was very much like same day, and it felt very similar to Lena and Bastion's relationship. And I get that a lot of like some relationships can be like this, in terms of like, you know who your person is, you trust that person, and like, let's go ahead and get married. Let's go ahead and start talking about kids in like less than a month. But it's not something that particularly has me comfortable and doesn't elicit any like swoony feelings for me. Overall, I enjoyed this series. I think, what if we have, so an average rating of 4 for the series as a whole. This was a fun little cozy mystery. First one was by far my favorite, just because, and I've said this before, the first one in a series tends to be my favorite because I enjoy the introduction and the world building when it comes to the first one. It's everything's very new. Everything's, I like the learning about the world, learning about the magic system. And then the third one definitely for me tops the second one, just because it's a similar formula, but it's not the same. While the second one, Twisted Treats, felt like almost like a carbon copy of the first formula. Really enjoyed this. I have been looking for others similar to this, so I'm finding I do like with this series in particular, it's making me question, okay, I do enjoy cozy mystery, just put paranormal elements to it, or like witchy elements to it. So because of this, I like started looking up other witchy books, which is a problem because none of those are on my TBR for this month. But yeah, that's my overall review for the Cursed Candy Mysteries by Kate Lawley. If you've read these, let me know your thoughts down below as well. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions for me in terms of elements like this type of cozy mystery series with witchy elements and a romance, let me know, because I'm very much interested right now. So let's go ahead and, is there a cupcake emoji? Let's do a cupcake emoji. It only makes sense. Or some kind of candy. Let's put those in the comments. Otherwise, be sure to give this review a like, subscribe if you want to see more of me, and I hope that you are in the mental mindset to enjoy your reading. I'll see you in another video very soon. Ciao.